Good morning and vanakkam. In this video, we're going to be reading from Dancing with Shiva, Hinduism's contemporary catechism written by Sadhguru Sivaya Subramania Swami, a richly illustrated sourcebook of Indian spirituality in question and answer form, exploring how to know the divine, honor all creation, and see God everywhere, in everyone. Today's lesson is lesson 65, and we'll begin by reading the caption to the facing image. Kneeling on a marble balcony, a woman offers heartfelt songs to her Lord. He holds handbells and strums a 4-string tambura. Her offering of song is a vital part of religious culture, developed through fulfilling the 10 observances called niyamas. Lesson 65. What are the 10 classical observances? Shloka 65. Hinduism's religious tenets are contained in 10 terse precepts called niyamas. They summarize the essential practices that we observe and the soulful virtues and qualities we strive daily to perfect. Aum Namah Sivaya. Bhashya. Good conduct is a combination of avoiding unethical behavior and performing virtuous spiritualizing acts. The accumulated wisdom of thousands of years of Hindu culture has evolved 10 niyamas, or religious observances. These precepts defining the ideals of Kriya are 1. Hri. Remorse. Be modest and show shame for misdeeds. 2. Sandosha. Contentment. Seek joy and serenity in life. 3. Dana. Giving. Tithe and give creatively without thought of reward. 4. Astikya. Faith. Believe firmly in God, God's Guru, and the path to enlightenment. 5. Ishvara Pujana. Worship. Cultivate devotion through daily puja and meditation. 6. Siddhanta Shravana. Scriptural listening. Study the teachings and listen to the wise of one's lineage. 7. Mati. Cognition. Develop a spiritual will and intellect with the Guru's guidance. 8. Vrata. Sacred vows. Fulfill religious vows, rules, and observances faithfully. 9. Japa. Recitation. Chant holy mantras daily. 10. Tapas. Austerity. Perform sadhana, penance, tapas, and sacrifice. The Vedas state, they indeed possess that Brahma world who possess austerity and chastity, and in whom the truth is established. Aum Namah Sivaya. Good morning and vanakkam. In this video, we're going to be reading from Living with Shiva, Hinduism's contemporary culture, written by Sadhguru Sivaya Subramania Swami. 365 daily lessons based on ancient Vedic laws disclosing how to approach family, money, relationships, technology, food, worship, yoga, and karma to live a truly spiritual life. Today's lesson is lesson 65, and the topic is psychic tubes. It is said that when man first killed a kinsman, great strength came into the nerve system of the animal body of all upon this planet. Normal seasonal cycles of mating turned into promiscuity. The population increased and is increasing even now with this intensification of kundalini fire through the sexual nature of men and women. Through the ancient traditions of Shaivite monasticism, the inner laws of brahmacharya have been preserved down through the centuries to help guide humanity through the Kali Yuga. This knowledge records the methods of how to preserve the vital energy within the body of men and women so that Shaivism, the remembrance of Shiva and his crystal clear Shakti, can be passed through the darkness of the Kali Yuga in unbroken continuity. For only through the power of the tapas of brahmacharya can his Shakti be passed on from one to another until the individual Shakti finally accrues enough intensity so that the brahmachari becomes as Lord Shiva himself. It is when fear pervades a country or the planet that the impulses of the animal nerve system cause desires for mating to intensify for the prolongation of the species. During intercourse, the astral bodies of the man and woman merge together, and conception may occur as a person in the Devaloka gains a body from the woman to enter this world. The connection formed between a man and a woman during intercourse makes a psychic astral umbilical cord-like tube in the lower astral plane world, which lasts for 12 years or more. Providing no other connection with the same or other individual occurred in the meantime, the tube would slowly wear away during the ensuing years. This is provided that at the same time sadhana or tapas is performed and regular pilgrimages and visits to Shaivite temples are made. Brahmacharya is holding the power of the divine within the core of the individual spine so that, as Lord Shiva sends his power through the 5 great winds of the astral body within the physical body, the winds adjust among themselves and emanate a Shakti strong enough to adjust the 5 great psychic fluids within everyone around. This power of brahmacharya is accrued and disseminated through sublimation, then transmutation of the sexual force. Transmutation occurs automatically through regular daily sadhana, the rigors of positive living, and adherence to the ceremonial customs of our religion. Ideally, brahmacharya begins at puberty for virgins and continues on until marriage. Otherwise, brahmacharya sadhana begins after the last sexual encounter with a member of the opposite sex has occurred and when a conscious decision is made to begin the practice of brahmacharya. While in the process of brahmacharya, those who have had sexual encounters with one or more members of the opposite sex experience times of trial. Great temptation may occur on the physical plane as the astral matter of the animal nerve system and systems of fluids and odors that attract the opposite sex store up in great abundance. This creates a magnetism which attracts those of the opposite sex. Especially attracted will be those of a similar nature and deportment as those of past encounters. Each person is born in a full state of brahmacharya. Upon reaching puberty, those boys and girls who remain virgins maintain the inherent state of brahmacharya. They are able to ward off and may not even notice many emotional and sexual temptations that would be troublesome to the non-virgin. This is because the psychic shield surrounding the virgin's aura has never been penetrated. They are the ones who walk in the rain without getting wet, sit long in the sun without getting burned. They are the ones for whom reading about worldly experiences nurtures only their curiosity, whereas had they established psychic tubular connections with a member of the opposite sex, the reading would nurture a much deeper sexual desire. It is the virgins performing brahmacharya sadhana since puberty who can, if they persist, live in Brahm, or God consciousness most of the time, even without performing intense sadhanas. This is because they have never consciously entered into worldly consciousness. Instead, they look out into it as if through a veil. Sutra 65 of the Nandinada Sutras. Noninjurious solutions. Shiva's devotees uphold the principle not to kill even household pests, but to stop their entry, not to kill garden insects or predators, but keep them away by natural means. This is the highest ideal. Aum Namah Sivaya. Good morning and vanakkam. In this video, we're going to be reading from Merging with Shiva, Hinduism's contemporary metaphysics, written by Sadguru Sivaya Subramania Swami. 365 enlightenment lessons from a mystical master revealing the depths of Raja Yoga, the clear white light, the states of mind, and the ultimate spiritual destiny of every seeker. Today's lesson is lesson 65 and the topic is disappointment, discouragement. Another instinctive response to the ebb and flow of life force is disappointment, which intensified becomes discouragement, depression, and despair. These three negative states are obstacles to all human endeavor, especially for the spiritual seeker, who must learn early to regulate, control, and balance the emotional ups and downs so well that he never experiences discouragement, which is nothing more than an imbalance of force. Life tests and retests our emotional maturity. Whether we meet those tests or fail is entirely up to us. On the Shaivite path, the Sadguru gives the tests in order to mold and strengthen the seeker's character. Great strength of character is required to attain spiritual goals, enormous courage and forbearance, and anyone who lacks that strength and stamina will cease striving long before full realization is attained. Therefore, to bring out the natural strengths, the Guru will offer challenges. He knows that we all fall short of our own expectations now and again, and that we react either positively by reaffirmation or negatively through discouragement. As the tests of life present themselves, the Sadguru will observe the seeker's response time and time again until his emotional body grows strong enough to combat negative reaction to what appears to be a failure and later to absorb within itself all reaction to disappointment, the father of discouragement. It is the day-to-day reactions to circumstance that indicate the attainment and not mere recorded knowledge about the path. When the aspirant is able to meet ordinary happenings and respond to them in the effortless wisdom born of detachment, that indicates that his striving is genuine. When he is able to encounter conditions that send ordinary people into states of disappointment or discouragement, and when his emotional nature indicates mastery over these lesser states of consciousness, he is well on his way toward filling the gaps of a natural growth of the instinctive vehicles, body, emotions, and intellect. But to attain emotional stability, recognition of those vulnerable areas must be cultivated. It is quite natural to encounter circumstances that are potential sources of disappointment. The very recognition and admission are half of the necessary adjustments. As one set of conditions is resolved, another set of a more intense vibration arises naturally to be mastered. With disappointment reined in, the aspirant next faces tendencies of discouragement, then depression, and finally despair. But they are all linked together in the instinctive nature of humankind. Once he recognizes these states as belonging to all men and ceases to identify them as personal tendencies, he is then able to cognize its source and convert it. In this way, the emotional nature matures under the loving guidance of the spiritual teacher. And that's it for today's lesson. Take care of yourself, have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in the next video. Aum Namah Sivaya.